fight like a roaring fight, grit during dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, let the Ginch replay.
That's right. I am the Ginch. Welcome to another edition of our early evening sports buffet with you. I am the Ginch, and as your host here on the Cole County Entertainment Network. The Wicked Witch of the West is melting today because it is ungodly hot here in the Northeast around Philadelphia. It's 93 here today, and then on Saturday it's supposed to get down to 40. So Mother Nature is not cooperating. Welcome to another edition. Thanks to the Ginch Quartet there. I see her in the green room. I'm going to bring her. I tried to find the Chatham University fight song, her alma mater, but I could not find it on the YouTube. So before I bring her on, let me just play a little of this. As soon as it should come on here in a minute. On the YouTube, it says it's the Sabres intro song. So I figured I'd play it. I want to play her on. But that is Miss Rachel Linzi. Rachel, again, thank you for coming on.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me on this evening. I appreciate it.
I'm just going to read this up. The Tweeter Machine at Rachel and Linzi. She's a Pittsburgher from Annapolis. In Buffalo, she covers the Sabres for At the Buffalo News. Sports, journalism, music mascots, the Patriot Division. Sometimes she will run a 5K, is what I'm seeing on here. Last time I ran a 5K was about 12 years ago. I made it in just under 30 minutes. If I tried to run it now, I'd probably have a heart attack.
My goals usually are don't stop, don't walk, make it to the finish line. I'm actually working on training for the Gaudreau family 5K next month. The Gaudreaus, the hockey players who were killed by a drunk driver tragically a couple summers ago. They do a virtual 5K, every May, since the untimely death of the Gaudreau brothers, but it goes all toward a really good cause. You can find it online. You can register. You can do a virtual one. I'm giving this out to your audience as well between May 1st and May 16th. And it's for a great cause. It's to help the Gaudreau family and all of their community efforts in the South Jersey, Philadelphia area. And it's a hockey family too.
Yeah. Outstanding. So let's talk Buffalo Sabres here.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years since they made the playoffs, 26 years since they made the finals. They've only been to the finals twice. I think the other time was 74-75 when they lost to the Flyers, I believe. So what flipped the script this year? I was looking at some of the stats. They're playing solid defense. I think they're number one in penalty kill percentage. They're having great goaltending, and they're doing just enough offensively. So it seems like that's sort of what turned around this year.
Right. Well, and one of the things I look back, I'm going to go back to December 9th. I even said the other day, I'm like, God, we're at game 82. We're getting ready for the playoffs. I'm going to go back to the beginning of December. The Sabres were on a 4, 5, 6 game road trip. It was 5 games to Western Canada. It started in Philadelphia. They lost the first 3 games. They've gone to overtime against Edmonton because Connor McDavid scored with literally 1 second left in regulation to force a 3-3 tie and force overtime in Edmonton. They came out and won 34 seconds into the game on Alex Tuch's overtime goal. And he said, okay, they pulled another one out. Great. Then a couple nights later in Vancouver, they play really well. They win. A couple nights later in Seattle, they play really well. They win. They come home. Kevin Adams is fired as general manager. Jarmo Kekalainen comes in, takes over as general manager. He was a senior advisor to Kevin Adams coming in. And all of a sudden, this multitude of factors came together. On the ice, you saw this team becoming what, there's a word you're going to hear in hockey a lot called consistency. Developing habits, building on those habits, repeating those habits. Those habits are basically helping them get better. They're realizing if we keep doing these things, we can win a few games. They went up on this 10-game win streak. During that, Jarmo Kekalainen comes in as the general manager, goes in, talks to the players. One of the things he said, nobody's job is safe in this locker room. He kind of scared job security into them, said, I need all of you to prove to me, and I'm paraphrasing here, to prove, why you belong on this team. It was basically a new job interview. And that was part of Jarmo Kekalainen's top to bottom evaluation of this team, which is probably still ongoing right now. So it was one of these, they start this 10-game winning streak, and they realized in this 10-game winning streak also, we all got to work together as a team. We all have to get along and work toward the common goal, despite whatever differences we may have off the ice. And the other thing they realized was, hey, losing leads is not acceptable anymore. If you look back early October, early November, even Sabres teams of the past few years, they would blow a 3-2 lead and think, all right, we got to do this tomorrow. Now, Tage Thompson said, that is unacceptable for this team. We are going to find a way to fight back. And even if we don't win, we're going to know we did everything we could to try to get that lead back. You didn't see them lose a lot of second or third period leads after they went on that 10-game win streak. And they pieced together winning streaks. They had a 10-game winning streak. They got an 8-game winning streak. They ended the season on a 4 or 5-game winning streak as well, too. And all of these added up to, hey, this is what it takes to be a successful hockey team. And the other key in there is Lindy Ruff, the head coach. He's been in the NHL as a coach or as assistant coach since 1993. And he's a guy who's evolved. I mean, he was coaching, against Josh Jones' dad in the 90s, which is pretty wild how you see it. But he has really, really evolved. He has adapted. He also knew when he kind of had to crack the whip, but when he also had to step back and say, all right, let you guys do your thing. So there were a lot of different qualities and different things that came together for this team to have the success it's had this year.
Yeah, and again, I was looking at some of the stats. Offensively, they're sort of middle of the pack. They're scoring enough. But when I go defensively, I was just looking at it again. I have to bring it up here. The power play percentage, they're sort of middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the penalty killing percentage, they're fourth in the league in penalty kill percentage. So even when they're getting themselves in trouble with penalties, they're getting themselves out of it with solid penalty kill play.
And shorthanded goals. They're one of the top teams in the NHL. I think they have 11 shorthanded goals. Ryan McLeod leads the NHL with 5 shorthanded goals. So it's not just they're clearing the puck out. They're getting the puck out of another team's zone during that man disadvantage, and they're creating offensive chances. Not a lot of them, but it's enough that they're maximizing them.
So going into the playoffs here, Boston, we all know about Boston, the pedigree, XYZ. What are you looking for in this particular matchup with the Boston Bruins?
Wow, there's a lot. We went through our matchups this morning as well. And one of the things, the one area I'm really looking at, I want to see how the defensemen stack up against each other. They're both teams that have sizable defensemen who have mean streaks. Nikita Zadorov from the Bruins, he leads the NHL in penalty minutes as well, too. And one of the things that the Buffalo Sabres wanted to do when they came into this season, well before any game began, they wanted to improve their toughness on defense. One of the guys they got was Michael Kesselring, big 6'6" defenseman, part of the trade for J.J. Peterka out of Utah. One of the first things that Michael Kesselring said to us when we interviewed him, he says, I'm not afraid to fight. I want to bring a little toughness to this defense. And then during the season at the trade deadline, they brought in 2 more defensemen through trades, Luke Shen and Logan Stanley. And Logan Stanley, same way, big 6'7" rangy guy. He's got a bit of a temper. He picks his fights well, and he isn't afraid to stand up for his teammates as well. Luke Shen is another good defenseman who he doesn't get a lot of minutes. I think he's only played 3 or 4 games since he got to Buffalo after the trade deadline. But he's a really solid veteran presence. He's a pro's pro. He's been around the league for almost 20 years. He's got a couple rings as well. So I want to see how these two defenses match up against the other team, especially how Buffalo's defense matches up against players like David Pastrnak, who's one of the NHL's leaders and assistant. He is just a spectacular playmaker. And Pavel Zacha, who's another solid faceoff guy as well. He burned the Sabres in overtime in March by winning a key faceoff at the end against Peyton Krebs that set up the game-winning goal. So I'm really eager to see how these defenses match up, in the two teams matching up against each other.
Does Buffalo want to make this a physical series?
Oh, of course. They have to. I mean, let's go back to March 8th when Buffalo played the Tampa Bay Lightning. Luke Shen said to me, he said, I got calls during that game. People were saying this was the game of the year. 8-7. The penalty boxes were standing room only. Players came to each other. Brandon Hagel pretty much ambushed Rasmus Dahlin from behind. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the goalie was about to jump in and do this as well. The Tampa Bay Lightning came in. They wanted to show the Sabres, we're the big dogs in the East. we're the ones you're going to have to bark at. And the Sabres barked back. The Sabres were going to show we are not going to be pushed around by anybody in this league. I think that was a huge test the Sabres faced and passed. Now they have to do it. Here's a challenge for the Sabres. They have to do it over the course of anywhere from 4 to 7 games against the same team. And I have a feeling that we're going to get the big bad Bruins that we knew and grew up with back in the Adams division in the 70s and 80s.
Buffalo wins this series. If they do what? Buffalo will find themselves in trouble if this happens.
They have to say Buffalo find themselves in trouble if they do not shut down the first line and the fourth line. Boston's fourth line, they are tough, they are talented, they can make offensive opportunities. Fourth line is generally known as kind of the grind line who shuts down the first line, but they've got a few of their own. Buffalo also will lose the series if they do not control faceoffs. They are not a great faceoff team. They have to step this game up in that area. They lost one of their best faceoff guys, fourth line guy, Sam Carrick, to a left arm injury the end of March after he fought with Anders Lee from the New York Islanders, landed awkwardly on his left arm and injured it. And he's not going to be around for the first series of the playoffs. Buffalo will go ahead. They will win the series if they stick to their game, if they don't get overwhelmed by the playoffs. And the playoffs are a totally different animal. I think they don't have a lot of players who've been deep in playoffs other than Alex Tuck, Bowen Byram, Peyton Krebs. And they have guys who played in world championships, guys who played in the Olympics. But the Stanley Cup playoffs are a totally different animal. They cannot get overwhelmed by the moment or the moments or the fact that the Bruins do have more playoff experience than them.
I have Buffalo winning this series, by the way. I have them winning the series 4-2.
Wow, all right.
But then they're going to go. Then they're going to go up against Tampa Bay. Look, it's the NHL. The NHL playoffs are the best playoffs in any American sport because you have no idea what is going to happen. So, again, I have Buffalo winning the first series. I'll have to get to the nooks and crannies if it's Buffalo against Tampa Bay. But I'll put you on the spot. I've got Colorado and Carolina playing for the Stanley Cup. Who do you have?
I'm going to go back to my picks from our season preview way back in October. I have Carolina and Dallas playing for the Stanley Cup.
Okay. You think Dallas can take out Colorado?
I think so. I think Colorado has got I think there's an issue. Are they going to run out of gas? I mean, they have a lot of firepower. You have to wonder about Cale Makar's health as well. That's another big issue that they face.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Rachel Linzi. She's picking Dallas against Carolina. I'm picking Colorado, Carolina. I'm not going to make the pick who actually wins the cup yet. I've got a bunch of friends in Carolina. Is this finally the year after 30 years now that they won the cup? Somewhere in there, or is it 20 years?
20 years. 2006, they beat Edmonton that year.
Rachel, thanks so much for coming on. When we get deep into the playoffs here, I'm going to pick your brain again.
Yeah, check back with me. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
enjoy the playoffs.
Enjoy the playoffs.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
That's Rachel Linzi. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a Pittsburgher from Annapolis that covers the Buffalo Sabres. But thanks to her, I think Buffalo takes out Boston. I've got Buffalo winning this series in 6 games. I think Tampa Bay wins their series. And again, Buffalo wants to prove that they're up and coming. Tampa Bay is the old gritty champion at this point. So we'll see what happens. Let's get some news from around the world in sports today. As it comes up here, having trouble with the internet here lately. As soon as it comes up, I might have to go to the phone. It's reported by Michael Rothstein, ESPN. They report out, let's see, Michael Penix Jr., former Browns tight end David Njoku, and Green Bay Packers safety Xavier McKinney. They were targeted for fraud. A former Alabama football player faces charges of wire fraud and identity theft after he allegedly used wigs and fake driver's license to impersonate NFL players for the purpose of securing nearly $20 million in loans, according to the federal court records. Prosecutors allege that Luther Davis pretended to be 3 different NFL players from May 2023 until October 2024 to secure loans from multiple lending agencies. That none of the players had authorized the loans and that fake email accounts were created without their knowledge. Why does this not surprise me? Have to keep an eye on that. See how that all shakes out. Mike Trout, he's hit his 5th Yankee Stadium home run in the last 4 games. So he's off to a stellar start. From the world of college football, as soon as it comes up here, again, server issues. Reported by Eli Letterman, Espen. A judge has granted Oklahoma linebacker Owen Heineke 1 year of extra eligibility. I'll just read this verbatim. Following a day-long emergency hearing at the Cleveland County, Oklahoma courthouse, which included testimony from Oklahoma coach Brett Venables and general manager Jim Nagy. Judge Thad Bachman ruled Thursday that the NCAA failed to consider the totality of Heineke's case surrounding his freshman season with Ohio State's lacrosse program in 2021. And he granted the injunction that paves the way for Heineke to return to Oklahoma for a 5th season this fall. Okay. Nothing when it comes to the NCAA and college athletics surprises me anymore. Also in college football, the NCAA has recommended earlier start to the football season in 2027, reported by Heather Dinich. Espen. Under the proposal, the regular season would begin on a Thursday of what is now called Week 0, which means there would be a full slate of games instead of waiting the following week for Week 0, and still end on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Schools would have 14 weeks to schedule their 12 games. This model would give teams 2 open dates and allow for flexibility for potential changes to the postseason. I don't know how they're going to work this out, especially with the Army-Navy game at the end of the year. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this too. And again, I don't know. I don't know when it comes to college athletics anymore. I really don't. I don't know how this is going to play out. Vanderbilt coach Clark Lee, who is a member of the Football Oversight Committee, told ESPN the football season calendar has been a health and safety issue that needed to be addressed. He said, quote unquote, to go through a season without 2 bye weeks is challenging to a roster. And in a time where we've imposed roster limits, and in our league where we're playing 9 league games now on the off years where we weren't able to get that second bye, we believe there's a negative impact mentally, physically, emotionally to the players, coaches involved. So from our vantage point, it was something we supported and feel strongly about. La, la, la. Should only have 1 bye week. One. I'm sorry. 1 bye week. Period. That's it. You don't get 2. No. Nope. From the NFL, reported by Chris Rim, Espen. Chargers GM Joe Ortiz has shut down rumors that Quentin Johnston is to be traded or will be traded. He said there's a lot of rumors out there on Twitter, and I can tell you this, I had made 0 calls about Quentin, and I've had 0 calls regarding Quentin. Quentin Johnston, I thought he'd be more of an impact player in the National Football League. He had a good year last year, but it hasn't been what I thought his career could be up to this point. The court has ruled against SMU's Theodore Knox in $2.8 million judgment from reported by Michael Rothstein and Nate Taylor. A Texas court on Wednesday issued a default judgment of more than $2.8 million against Theodore Knox, the co-defendant in one of the lawsuits against Kansas City Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice, stemming from that 2024 street racing crash in Dallas. Judge Kim Bailey Phillips ruled that Knox, one of Rice's teammates at Southern Methodist University, was grossly negligent after he and Rice lost control of their cars and crashed on a central Dallas highway in March of 2024. Rice's case is scheduled to go to trial June 9th. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Eric Spoelstra has come out and said that there is no need to penalize Charlotte Hornets LaMelo Ball any further. Okay, don't know what that means. In the NBA last night, if you missed it, I'm sure you're all caught up by now. 76ers beat the Magic 109-97 in the 7th and 8th place game play-in, whatever the fuck they call it now. I don't know. It's a joke. For the Orlando Magic, your leading scorer was Desmond Bane. He had 34 points. For the 76ers, leading scorer was Tyrese Maxey, 31 points. Combe had a nice game for the Sixers, 19 points and 11 boards. The other game that was played, the Warriors beat the Clippers. A little bit of surprise there, for me anyway. For the Warriors, leading scorer was Stephen Curry at 35. For the Clippers, your leading scorer was Benedict Mathurin, 23 points off the bench. That was the whatever playing game, the 9th and 10th place playing game, whatever. Playoffs will continue on Friday. No games tonight. In the play-in game for the 8th seed, it will be the Hornets at the Magic. And for the West play-in game for the 8th seed, Warriors will be playing the Suns. Again, NHL, just getting ready for the playoffs, winding down the season. Not a lot of news. Good old Major League Baseball, shall we? Games played earlier today. The final 10 innings. Nationals beat my Pirates 8-7. Giants over the Reds 3-zip. Tigers kicked a late field goal to beat the Royals 10-9. Angels over the Yankees 11. Brewers over the Blue Jays 2-1. The Rays over the White Sox 5-3. Rangers over the Athletics 9-6. Ongoing right now, end of the 5th, the Guardians up on the Orioles 3-zip. Rockies are at the Astros later, and the Mariners are at the Padres. Let me go to the world of soccer because we are winding down the English Premier League. I think there's about 5 games left. On Saturday, a full slate. Brentford will host Fulham. Leeds will host Wolverhampton. Newcastle will host Bournemouth. Tottenham will host Brighton, and Chelsea will host United. Then on Sunday, Aston Villa will host Sunderland. Everton will host Liverpool. Nottingham Forest will host Burnley. And my Arsenal squad, they will travel to Man City to take on Man City. I believe whoever wins this particular game will win the English Premier League. Arsenal had a prime opportunity last week to keep the distance. Before this game, they failed. I just have a feeling that whoever wins that game is going to win the title. Then on Monday, Crystal Palace will host West Ham United. Go to the world of golf. PGA Tour, the RBC Heritage Classic, Hilton Head Island. Ludwig Aberg shot a 8 under 63 today. He has a one-shot lead over Harris English and Victor Hovland at 7 under par. They shot 64s. Well, I would have a 64 by the time I got the whole 10. LPGA Tour out there in Tarzana, California, at the El Caballero Country Club. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse, Chizzy EY, she shot a 9 under 63. Senior PGA Championship down there in Bradenton, Florida at the Concession Golf Club. 3 players shot 6 under 66. Steve Allen, Bernhard Longer, and Miguel Angel Jimenez. The Live, who the Saudis are backing out, by the way. Their money will no longer be sunk into Live at the conclusion of the season. I was waiting for that to happen at some point. But John Rahm shot a 6 under. Well, he's still on the course, actually. A lot of them are still on the course, so I digress. But right now, John Rahm, Ian Poulter, and Victor Perez right now are 5 under, and they lead. They're through 14. They're down there at Club D Golf, Chapultepec, Mexico City, Mexico. The Corn Ferry Tour, they are in Tulum, Mexico, at the PGA Riviera Maya. Tulum Championship at PGA Riviera Maya. Caleb Van Aragon, he shot a 6 under 66. He leads. Let's go to college. Let's go to women's softball. Top 25 action 10 a day. There is none. So there you have it. On the men's side, men's baseball, 4 games. Earlier today, a final in 7 innings. BYU hammered number 23 Arizona State 19-9. Right now, ongoing, top of the second, Clemson and number 9 Virginia are scoreless. Bottom of the first, number 13 Auburn, number 20 Florida, tied 1 apiece. Later on, number 5 Georgia at number 16 Arkansas. The world of NASCAR. They are at the Kansas Motor Speedway this weekend. I have my predictions. If I can pull them up here real quickly. I will give you who my top 5 will be. Give me just a second. I always go to past history. When it comes to racetracks. And here at Kansas, Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell have the best average finish, 9th and 11th, respectively. Carl Larson, 12th. Denny Hamlin usually finishes around 12th. Brad Keselowski, 13th. If you're looking for wins, most recently, Denny Hamlin has the most with 4, Logano 3, Kyle Larson 3. So I am going to go. Hamlin's going to finish first, Larson second, Logano third. I'm going to go Keselowski 5th and Chase Elliott, or 4th. Chase Elliott will be 5th on that front. Again, we're coming up 2 weeks away. Is the NFL draft. There's a lot of stuff floating around out there. I am still not sold on the fact that the Raiders are going to take Mendoza at number 1. I have a feeling if you look at some of the other teams, they need a quarterback. Run down the divisions. Who needs a quarterback? Miami. AFC North. Pittsburgh. Could Pittsburgh could they trade up? Probably not. Cleveland's not going to go that route. Look at the NFC South. Nobody really needs a quarterback. AFC West, other than the Raiders. NFC East, nobody really needs a quarterback. NFC North, nobody. You think about it. NFC South, New Orleans, but they're not gonna sell the farm. And then the AFC West, Arizona, maybe. But I'm still not sold that the Raiders are just going to sit there. If somebody offers them, makes them an offer, they can't. They're making an offer you can't refuse. We'll see. We'll see. ESPN came up with a 2026 NFL draft, how all 30 teams can ace their picks and their needs. They're starting in the NFC East. Dallas has a shitload of picks. They're going to go. They're basically saying that they should go defense because Dallas's defense was ass last year. New York Giants, we went over that with Lou DiPietro yesterday. They've got a lot of picks. The Eagles have a lot of picks. I would think it would be a multitude of things offensively and defensively. Washington Commanders. I don't know. Quarterback has to stay healthy, though. He has to stay healthy. You saw what happened when he got hurt. And let's see, North, the Bears. I think the Bears have a solid young nucleus. Maybe a little bit of mix of both offensive and defense. The Lions, it's obvious. They need defensive help. The Packers. I think it'll be a mix. They lost a lot to free agency, though. Romeo Dawes, Malik Willis, Rashawn Gary, Elgin Jenkins, Quay Walker, Kingsley, Enigbare. But they need defensive help. Minnesota Vikings. I think you have to shore up your defense a little bit. You have to shore up your offensive line. The Falcons. I think it should be a mix. The Panthers, again, should be a mixed offense and defense. The Saints are a dumpster fire right now, so it's going to be tough for them to improve. The Buccaneers. Mike Evans is gone. Their receivers are not great anymore. Do they go offense? And so on and so forth. I'm not going to bore you with everyone. 2 weeks away. Hopefully, be having a draft show for you here on the Cole County Entertainment Network. That's going to do it for me. Again, excuse me. Thought I just saw something come over my ticker, but I guess not. Again, thanks to Rachel Linzi for joining the program, talking Buffalo Sabres hockey. That was fantastic. Solid information there for you Buffalo Sabres fans out there. Again, I have Sabres winning against Boston 4-2. They'll be playing Tampa Bay in the second round. No idea who would win that series. I'll pick that at a later date. Ongoing right now here on the Cole County Entertainment Network. If you want to jump on over and check out my man Mike Fuji Fiordimando, Fuji's Philly Flair. Check him out. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy whatever you're going to watch. NBA, NHL. Maybe you're going to check out some college sports like men's college baseball or women's college softball. Maybe you're going to check out the Premier League. Maybe you're going to check out your favorite Major League Baseball team for the weekend. Whatever you check out, enjoy it. As I say at the end of each show, practice compassion, practice empathy. Have passion for what you do. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second opportunity. Help somebody every once in a while. You might make their day. And for the love of God, if you see somebody struggling in whatever fashion they're struggling in, ask questions, inquire how you can get them help. How can you help them? You might not just be saving a life, you might be saving a multitude of lives. Again, have a great weekend, everybody. I know here the friggin' heat's finally going to let off after today. It's going to, other than Sunday, which it looks like it's a washout. Tomorrow looks lovely, and Saturday looks lovely. So get out and enjoy it. Be safe out there. There's only one thing left for me to do, and that's for Danny Don Meredith to take me out. Have a happy and safe weekend, everybody.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.